everyone, I'm Nicole Guillaume with Guiding Echoes, where I help you to discover the wisdom of your soul. Today's question comes to us from Janice Sestrap, and she said, from Janice Sestrap, and she wrote in and said, my ex-husband passed last October, and I have had connection with him since he's passed. I even know when he's around. My question is, how can I connect with my spirit guides more on that same level as I have with my ex? I'm wondering if I need to meditate more and ask them. Thank you. Janice, that's a really good question. And I want to start by saying that when someone we know has crossed over onto the other side, we're really at an advantage that we don't have with our spirit guides. Because when someone has been alive, we have had the opportunity to build a strong connection with them on just about every level, right? We have probably hugged them, so we've made a physical connection. Since this was your husband, you were able to sleep together, of course, and cuddle together, and so you had a lot of physical contact. You became very familiar with his voice, with his scent, with his movements. So there are things that make you intimately familiar with him because you've had this long relationship with him and he was present in the physical world. The disadvantage that we have with the spirit world is that spirit guides don't give us the opportunity to see them all the time. You know, we don't really get to see their little quirky sides and their interesting facial expressions, and we don't get to wake up to them. We don't get to touch them. And so there's a different type of energy exchange that happens between someone who's here and has crossed over and someone who's never been here before, at least not in the same time that we have been. You can get to the point where you're more aware of your spirit guides, but I don't know that it would be possible for you to have that same type of knowingness, that same type of I want to say sensory overload that you probably get when you're near your husband. You'll probably always have that type of connection with your husband. When it comes to the spirit guides, it's going to be a little different though. And this simply has to do with how well we're able to tune into different people. There are some people who will tell you that their spirit guides somehow seem closer to them than the physical people in their life. You know, they're just able to build that relationship. So in answer to your question, though, to build your relationship with your spirit guides and to become more aware of their presence, you may actually need to not meditate more. You may actually need to meditate less. And I know that seems counterintuitive. But sometimes what happens with meditation is we have this agenda to push for a specific result. So in your case, it may be that when you go to meditate, you're doing it because you want to connect with your guides. You want them to be more real to you. But really, meditation needs to be an end of itself, which means that we need to be able to meditate for the sole purpose of meditating. So it's best if we can come into meditation without any type of purpose behind it, or not purpose, without any type of agenda, I want to say, behind it. The purpose of meditation is always going to be there, right? It's always going to be to clear our mind, to help our bodies to relax, to get in touch with source energy. But once we start making it about something more than that, we're pushing an agenda. And we may be trying to push something to come to us faster than we're actually ready for it. So I don't know how often you meditate, but maybe you need to meditate only twice a week or once a week in that capacity. In the meantime, you can use guided meditations too. So the type of meditation I was referring to earlier was mindfulness meditation. I should have said that. Sorry about that. So mindfulness meditation is when you're able to clear your mind and just get in touch with your own power and get familiar with your own energy and get curious about the energies around you. And mindfulness meditation takes quite a while to master. You know, every once in a while, distracting thoughts still come through my mind. I still get bored. I've never fallen asleep while doing mindfulness meditation. But I do get quite bored with it sometimes. I'm just sitting here. I have so many other things I could be doing right now. Like, why am I doing this? And that's counterproductive, right? But you also have to train your brain to calm calm down and to let it understand, to let it know that we're doing this right now. You can fight it, but we're still doing this. So mindfulness meditation does take some practice to get into the vibe of that and to feel as if you're doing it right and to start seeing the benefits of it. The other thing you can do, of course, is guided meditations. And when I first started learning about spirit guides, it was through guided meditations, of course, that I met them. And I find that the deeper you're able to go into a guided meditation, the better able you are to see, feel, and hear your spirit guides. But once you come out of it, they're not going to be as present as they were in the meditation, because they're meeting you in a meditation through your consciousness, right? They are somehow able to meet us in that space where everything and nothing exists all at once. So when we are meditating, we're opening up the doors of our consciousness so that spirit can come work with us. And this is true of people who have passed over too, people who have passed on. So it's kind of the same idea. When you work with your spirit guides through guided meditations, or really any form of meditation, or even channeling, if you decide that you want to start channeling your messages down by writing them down, that's a good way to get in touch with them too. And you will start to become more aware of their presence in the room with you, and you may start to hear them better intuitively as you're driving or you're doing laundry or you're running errands. So you can get to a point where you're able to feel them better and sense them better and even communicate with them better without the use of meditation. You know, eventually you'll get to the point where you don't need the meditation as much. But I don't know that you'll ever get to the point where they're as real to you as your ex-husband was, because you're working with two completely different energies. And again, with your husband, you kind of have this imprint of what he's like, you know, so it's easier for you to understand what he's saying. It's easier for you to tune into his energy and hear what he's saying and see his facial expressions in your mind eye. Whereas with spirit guides, we may never be able to do that. You know, there's certain facial expressions, there's certain tone of voices, and there's just certain things that we're probably never going to experience with them in the bubble or in the safety of a guided meditation. Now, I'm curious to know if those of you watching have found a formula that has helped you to really tune into your spirit guides so they are as lively to you as your next door neighbor or your roommates or your partner. Then I would love to hear from you. What did you do to enhance that relationship? Tell me all about it in the comment section down below. And if you have a question about anything that we talked about here today, please put that in the comment section too. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, I would like to welcome you to the Guiding Echoes community, and I'd also like to invite you to subscribe to this channel. Here on this channel, we love to talk about spiritual things such as the afterlife, spirit guides, ghosts, and all that good stuff. So if that's something you're interested in, you have come to the right place. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and also hit that little bell icon so you can be notified when I release new videos in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.